7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Then hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Yeah. Late nights in New Orleans. Some voices entertain the city. Some voices changing. You already know who on the air tonight. Gerod. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. French Quarter nights with the rain coming down. Whole city talk, but the truth stay underground. Funny how the silence break whenever he speak. Certain conversations never make the TV. Voice through the speakers got the whole city tuned. Higher ups nervous every time he hit the room. Cause he say what the people been feeling for years. Bringing light to the stories they don't want us to hear. From the uptown lights to the night war pain. Every word hit different when it cut through the rain. Everybody know the truth, you never said aloud. Till Gerard hit the airwaves and it shook the whole town. And the streets keep calling through the static in the night. Every word feel different when Gerard go live. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Streetcars roll while the city stay awake. Everybody got a story, everybody got a way. Funny how the phones go quiet when he name names. Funny how the pressure rise when he shift the conversation. He talks schools, streets, money disappearing. Backdoor deals that the public ain't hearing. Things get buried when the cameras don't roll, but the people tune in cause Gerard let it unfold. From the jazz in the streets to the smoke in the sky. The wall and still fighting, still holding it high. And the city feels seen every time that he speak. Cause the truth hit harder when it finally run deep. Now the whole town riding with the station on loud. Hands high while they sing every word through the crowd. Can you feel the city breathing? Every late night conversation. Through the speakers, through the rain. Ooh, New Orleans, don't sound the same. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Yeah. You're now rocking with Gerard, the voice they couldn't silence. New Orleans, stand up.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, good people? What's going on with you? Welcome to, what is it, Wednesday? Yeah, your mic not on. You don't have your whatchamacallit hooked up. Duh. So, yeah, it's Wednesday. Man, when I tell you it's a day, if I sound like I'm tired, don't let the sound make you think otherwise, because I am. I'm wore out. Boy, the day has been one of them days. And I can tell you this. I put it this way. Unbelievable. Not believable. Unbelievable. Your mic's not on. Nope. You just put the wrong one on. Have mercy. But anyway, let me tell you what happened, y'all. And don't think that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Man.
There you go. You're all right. But don't think that the attorney extraordinaire is not coming today. She is coming today. She's just finishing up what we've been working on since 10 o'clock this morning, which has been, I think, the best way to put it has been a mess. Y'all, I don't even know how to explain it. The stuff that we're finding out and what's going on with these folks and their loved ones that they're trying to lay to rest in a service that was supposedly provided by this New Orleans funeral and embalming out in New Orleans East, where the guy is supposed to be cremating your loved ones, and then you're supposed to be able to pick up your ashes and move forward with a service. Ladies and gentlemen, the stories that we are hearing are disturbing. They are disturbing. So disturbing that everybody is like, are you kidding? Even the police are saying, what? So when I just left the office and came over, that's probably why I'm by myself today, because we've had so many different entities that we had to involve and talk to. And when I tell you that this is disturbing, it's disturbing. Some of the, I can't even tell you the stories. I can't even tell you the stories. But we've had a gentleman and his partner with us most of the day today that, he's already been going through one thing with the loss of his stepdaughter, who was only 35 years old. And now he's got to go through this. So for the majority of you, I think this is going to air later on this afternoon. You all should join us on Channel 6 later on this afternoon or 10 o'clock tonight, because this has been a continuation of what has happened, what we saw with other people. And we're finding out the true numbers of people that this has happened to. Y'all, when I tell you it's disturbing, can you imagine having to sit down, do an interview, and watch a grown man cry this morning? And both of us are disturbed, very disturbed. So disturbed that the majority of the folks that were there have stated that they have never in their lives, whether in the funeral business or in law enforcement, they have never heard of anything like this. I think today I've heard, oh my God, What? Are you kidding me? This is crazy. I've heard these types of conversations as full sentences more so today than probably all year long. Am I wrong?
No, you are correct. I am just finishing up with the New Orleans Police Department and the Attorney General's office and Mr. Menard, Stephen Menard, who is the stepfather of Chantel Romero. Chantel Morero died in April, and they paid $1,250 to Mr. Lewis at New Orleans Cremation Services to, they thought, to cremate their loved one. Chantel leaves behind 2 minor children. I think that's important, and she's only 35 years old. He said that he thought that New Orleans Cremation Services would be able to cremate his loved one and then give her back to them. We have now learned that Gary Lewis does not have a license to cremate anyone. Let me say that again. He has no license to cremate anyone. And so therefore, he was going to have to third party it out. He was going to have to send it out to another entity, but he didn't tell that to these people whose money they took. He made them think that he was going to handle the cremation services right there at New Orleans Cremation Services. But he never had the ability to do that in the first place. So he was supposed to cremate the body. They called him on July 14th after being advised that the cremation had been completed. Mr. Menard and a friend traveled to New Orleans Cremation Services to pick up the remains, and Gary Lewis was not there. They were met by a woman who identified herself as Teresa Schexnayder, who then Tracy Schexnayder, who said that the body was locked behind closed doors. She couldn't get to the body at the time. She assured them that she would deliver the body the next day, or the remains the next day. The next day, they were not delivered. He called back. He was told, okay, we'll bring it on the 16th. Body didn't show up on the 16th. And just a few nights ago, at 9:30 p.m., a van pulls up to his house in Vermilion Parish. The funeral director, Gary Lewis, calls him on the phone and says, come outside. He goes out to the van. He opens the van door. There are numerous white cardboard boxes with black boxes inside of them that are remains of human beings. He hands Mr. Menard a box and says, this is your loved one, and pulls off.
At 9 o'clock at night.
Mr. Menard goes in the house, opens the cardboard box, finds a black box inside. The black box inside has a clear plastic bag with a zip tie on it, but no identification.
With ashes.
With ashes of what's in the bag.
Nothing to identify the ashes, not letting you know that this crematory did the process, not having your loved one's name on it. It's just a black box. You open up the top of the box and pull out a plastic bag of ashes.
Right.
No paperwork that identifies who did what, the numbers that are supposed to be on the box, identifying that nobody else has that number.
No.
Nothing.
So Mr. Menard then takes the box to a local funeral home in Vermilion Parish and asks them, could you just tell me if these are human remains? So he explained, so the funeral home there opens the plastic bag.
Full of ashes.
And dumps them out. When they dump them out, there's no tag identifying who the remains belong to, which is supposed to be on the bag. But they do identify that they are indeed human remains. But they cannot tell him whether or not these are the remains of his loved one.
Mm-mm.
And so then he ends up requesting a death certificate from Vital Records, because Mr. Lewis was supposed to provide a death certificate when he delivered the ashes, but he did not. So he gets a death certificate from Vital Records, and on the death certificate, it says that the place of disposition, the place where the body was cremated, is Bagnell and Son Funeral Home in Covington. Well, Mr. Menard had never heard of Bagnell and Son Funeral Home. He thought that the body was cremated at New Orleans Funeral and Cremation Service. So he contacts Bagnell and Son Funeral Home, speaks to Mr. William Bagnell, and Mr. Bagnell advises him, I did not cremate that body.
Now, with that being said, we need to make sure that everybody understands something. That's not hearsay. Mr. Bagnell showed up this morning at the law firm to dispute anyone saying that he had done any type of cremation since 2024.
Well, he said he did cremation for him in 2024, and then
But he
briefly he did
stopped.
cremation for him in May of 2026. He said because they were backed up and they asked him, could he please cremate some bodies in May of 2026. However, he said when Mr. Lewis's check started bouncing, he stopped cremation services in May of 2026. So there is no way he performed this cremation, which they say occurred on July the 10th, 2026. He said he did not cremate this body. He also said that he has been contacted by the Jefferson Parish Coroner's Office and the Orleans Parish Coroner's Office because his name, his funeral home's name is appearing on all of these death certificates, and he is saying that he did not cremate any of these bodies. Which brings to mind the question, who cremated these bodies? Because Gary Lewis does not have a license to cremate, and according to Mr. Bagnell, does not have a facility that would enable him to cremate anyone.
Right.
So who cremated the bodies? Because Bagnell and Sons did not cremate the bodies, so the death certificates have fraudulent information on them, which is a crime,
felony.
a
It's a
felony.
Mhm.
So, that's where we are today. We heard a very emotional story by Mr. Menard, who says, I have a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old grandson and granddaughter whose mother has died. I have a bag of ashes, and I do not know if this is their mother.
And he said he does not think
How
that it
do I
is.
tell them
Right. He
that
said
I don't know where their mother is?
Mhm.
And when the reporter asked him, is there anything that you would say to Chantel if she were here? He said, I can't find you. I don't know where you are.
And I mean, he was tearing up the entire time. So it's been an emotional day, but I thought that was going to be just it. But I got to tell everybody too, that was one interview, but there were several more that were coming, and several more just showed up. Of course, we did the interview with Mr. Bagnell as well, and we had even had one of our professional funeral home owners that came in to, discuss issues with us. We didn't get him on the air yet, but for this to happen, and then we saw the police department, the attorney general's office, everybody that is now taking this very serious. Y'all, have you ever heard of any, I don't want to call it just anything like this, but this is a bunch of crap. This man gonna rot in hell himself.
I'm having difficulty processing this.
The problem I
mean-
got with it is the fact that he's calling the people that are reporting and telling what's happening, calling them and chastising them.
He is cussing them out, y'all. When they're giving these news interviews, he is calling them and cursing them out for contacting the media.
Yep.
He also cursed out the reporter,
Yep.
Aubrey Killian, for running the story and apparently threatened a news station in Lafayette for running a story.
Never heard of anything like this ever. And this to me has been, I mean, an ongoing situation. And look, it's not over, y'all. I hate to put it to you like we're talking in past tense, but this is just, I think, the beginning. I just think this is the beginning. All right, let's take the break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back, have some more conversation in just a minute. Open up the telephone lines to 504-582-9422. More coming up.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM, or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
On last week's From the Press Box to Press Row with Donald Ware.
When the predicted order of finish came out, Virginia Union was the number one team. Now, Virginia Union's going to be really, really good. Dr. Alvin Parker. You know, I'm trying to think back over his career as the head coach at Virginia Union. I can't. There may have been one season when Virginia Union won less than 8 games, and Virginia Union did not win the CIAA championship, but the Panthers were not the champions of the CIAA. Johnson C. Smith was, and in fact, Johnson C. Smith beat Virginia Union in the CIAA championship game.
From the Press Box to Press Row is one of the hottest sports talk shows in the country. Join Donald each week as he takes you on a journey through the world of HBCU sports and pro sports and interviews with top sports and entertainment figures. That's From the Press Box to Press Row each week on your favorite station.
Box to Row, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com. What New Orleans is talking about.
Psst, come close. No, closer. Have you heard about the new blues show? It's the Blues Buffet with Jay Boogie, serving up all the blues you love to listen to.
Hey, New Orleans, it's Jay Boogie inviting you to join me for the Blues Buffet, the best soul blues mix on the planet. Happening Saturday night at 9 o'clock, right here at 1230 a.m. WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 a.m. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 a.m.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you, the attorney extraordinaire, Suzette Bagnaris, in the building, having some conversation. I think we're just trying to recoup our senses about ourselves.
I can't process everything I heard this morning. And when I spoke with the Attorney General's office today, they were left speechless. They kept saying, what? What? You know, as I'm explaining to them with Mr. Menard what occurred, the attorney from the Attorney General's office is left speechless on the other end of the phone. The NOPD officers who came to the office to take his police report were also saying, what? Like, what happened? Like, this is wild. And he said, I just saw a documentary on something like this. Like, it seems unreal that this kind of thing is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just cannot believe that this man has been left to have a license this long to behave like this, to conduct business like this. Mm-hmm. It's really egregious. It's really unconscionable. And all of these families want is closure, the ability to be able to lay their loved one to rest with dignity and respect that they deserve. And they are being deprived of that ability to let their loved one rest in peace and to get peace of mind themselves for laying their loved one to rest. For example, Tiffany Coleman, you know, it struck me when she said to us, Gerard, this was the last thing I was going to do for my mother, lay her to rest, and I chose this funeral home, and I feel guilty.
Yeah, she's trying to think I think her mindset was, it's my fault.
It's my fault because I made this decision. I made this choice, and I, did a disservice to my mother. An only child, any child, should not feel like they did a disservice to their parent by selecting a funeral home that botched the cremation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no other way to put it. I mean, but for him to represent to these people that he had the ability to cremate, I think, first of all, is a misrepresentation or fraud. When he knew he could not perform cremation services, even the name New Orleans Cremation Services makes you think he's cremating the bodies. He has no ability to cremate the bodies. He has to farm it out to another facility, and there are only 35 in the entire state, we learned this morning, that are certified as embalmers to cremate bodies. 35 in the entire state. So he knew when he took these people's money that he never could perform cremation services, that he needed to bring it to another facility for them to perform cremation services. That's the first problem. The second problem is clearly you're providing false information to people as to who actually performed the cremation services. And these death certificates have fraudulent information on them. There are so many problems with this particular situation.
Yep.
And I'm watching loved ones suffer in the meantime. Like, how does he tell his grandchildren, I don't know if this is your mother in this urn? It may be, it may not be.
Well, when you talk about cremating somebody, you got to have number one, the crematorium itself. I think they said that you got to have it insulated. It's in a insulated area, number one, and then number two, it's in an area where it can withstand the heat. It takes about someone to run either between 1,600 to 2,000 degrees,
and it takes 3 hours on average to cremate a body. Is what we have learned.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe when the man walked in my office today, y'all. He walked in with a plastic tub. And then the plastic tub, because I need you to understand this. The plastic tub had a bungee cord on it, holding it closed. He takes the bungee cord off. He takes the lid off the plastic tub. He takes a white box out of the plastic tub. He opens the white box. There's a black plastic box for which he was charged $150, might I add, for a black plastic box. He opens the black plastic box, takes out 2 clear plastic bags, 1 plastic bag with a zip tie that the body originally came in. The second one is the one that the funeral home in Vermilion Parish emptied the contents of the first bag into. And this is sitting on the conference room table while we're having this news interview.
Mm-hmm.
It was a surreal moment. We're in the presence of someone's body who deserved dignity and respect. But it may not have been his loved one's body.
I can't tell
Just
you
let
how
that
I would
sink in.
react. How would you react? Because I think that they're doing wonderful in their approach and what they see and what's going on. But I wonder how the average person would have reacted, like myself or you.
So we were asked online, did he even have a funeral director's license? Apparently, you can own a funeral home and not be a funeral director and not hold a license. We learned that this morning. You can own a funeral home like you own a McDonald's. You need to employ someone who has a funeral director's license. So he has employed a woman named Tracy Jones, who does have a funeral director's license. Now, a funeral director's license has a U on it, okay? But a embalmer's license has an E on it. No one in his whole shop has an E license, so they could not cremate anybody. But the man whose company appears on the death certificate, William Bagnell, he does have a license to be a funeral director and an embalmer. And he used to formerly do cremation services for Mr. Lewis. But then he said Mr. Lewis's paperwork was so shoddy that he didn't want anything to do with him. So he stopped cremating for him in 2024. But then when Tracy Jones contacted him of May of 2026 and said, we're backed up, we need help, can you cremate some of these bodies? Because you only have 30 hours from the time a body is delivered to cremate it or to funeralize it. Apparently, that's what they were telling us. So he started doing some of them, and then when Mr. Lewis did not pay him, he said, I'm not doing any more. So he stopped in May of 2026, but this death certificate says that he actually cremated Ms. Romero on July 10th, which he did not.
And that's fraud.
And that's fraud.
Because it's on a death certificate.
Because it's on a vital record.
I'm telling you, I was sitting there for a minute, and I just said to myself, these people playing with, we already know people playing with people's lives, but now you're playing with, the bodies of somebody that died, and all we asking for is some respect. Boy. And listen, this has everything to do with when you go to a funeral home, a crematory, you got to ask the right questions. Who would have ever thought that you got to ask pertinent questions?
Well, look it up yourself and do some research. I mean, it's crazy.
Just to get the answer to how did you put your loved one at rest.
So just so our public and listeners know, the Louisiana State Board of Embalmers and Funeral Directors maintains a searchable directory for funeral establishments and crematory authorities. You can use the board's search directory to determine whether a business held a crematory authority license at the relevant time that they handled your loved one. So, as I stated, it'll have an E on it if the person is certified to embalm. It will have a U on it if the person is licensed to either own a funeral home or to actually be a funeral director. And you can become a funeral director with 30 hours of classes is what we learned today. So this is just, I learned more about cremation this morning than I ever thought I would ever learn in my life.
Me too. And I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And then I worked at a funeral home.
Right.
So it was something just to pick up the phone and start calling folks and saying, hey, I think we need to have this conversation. We need you to come, da-da-da-da. So here's a conversation with the police department. Here's a conversation with the Attorney General's office. Here's a conversation with a news reporter. And, I mean, Aubrey was like, I think just as stunned.
We were all stunned. And you know what? I've handled some really serious cases. Like, I think this one comes in second for me on the shock value. I think the most shocking case I've ever handled was the Bob Dean nursing home class action with all of the elderly people and infirm people who required 24-hour skilled nursing but were warehoused in Kentwood, Louisiana, in deplorable conditions.
Mm-hmm.
When I walked into that warehouse and saw bedpans with cat litter in it that they made these elderly people utilize to go to the bathroom, and when I saw feces all over the floor and diapers all over the floor, and that image will never leave my mind. I think of all the cases I've handled, that one was the most shocking to me and left the biggest impact on me in terms of what I saw. This one comes second, I think. To have people walk into your office with a box that's ashes and they don't know if it's their loved one is traumatic.
That I paid for. and I still don't know because you're not identifying or you don't have anything to identify.
It's traumatic.
So this is going to air tonight, then, correct?
It will air tonight. Aubrey's doing a story at, I think he said 6 and 10. And I'm sure this is not the end.
Oh, no.
Of the stories.
No.
Because the people keep calling and the people keep coming, y'all. But I can say that we were able to get Tiffany Coleman's money refunded to her so that she could at least have some money to go towards the cremation of her mother, whose body had just been held at the coroner's office since April, decomposing. At least we were able to help her to
get it started,
get the process started.
And I thank the folks over at Professional Funeral Services, Miss Eva. Thank you for helping because it was imperative that we, get this done because you got to remember this woman has been out of refrigerated services in and out for a long period of time. So, there's some decomposing.
It's horrible, y'all. I mean, look, Gerod and I are really kind of
I messed up.
Shell-shocked and trying to regroup. Because, I mean, I really just left dealing with NOPD and the AG to rush in here. But I felt that it was important to sit with Mr. Menard to help him to navigate this very difficult circumstance in reliving this over and over, one with the reporter, one with NOPD, and one with the AG. I just think he needed to be able to. He needed help. First of all, he couldn't get people to respond to him, but we got people to respond to us. So we needed to help him to navigate this very difficult time. But my heart goes out, to everyone who has a loved one that is either still at the coroner's office, still waiting to be embalmed, or having gone through this. This is something that will stick with us for a while.
Yep. And look, even if you have a loved one that is at the coroner's office and you don't know what to do, you need to find out. Because, that is important that you get your people put away and get them put away respectfully and make sure that they're not riding around in the black van to parish.
Handing out boxes of remains.
Yes.
Unidentified remains.
Unidentified. Oh, yeah. By the way, this is yours.
I think.
Hello. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that, it's not me. Because I'd be looking for him.
It's a bad situation. Emotions are running very high in this circumstance, and I understand why. I truly understand why. So, at any rate, you will be able to watch that story tonight on Channel 6. Aubrey Killian, thank you for covering this story. I think it's a story that needs to be told, and we will keep you updated on events as they occur.
All right. Something else, too. Let's move on. Let's try to get out of this somber mood as well. But, karma, if we can use that word correctly, karma is a biatch.
Can you say that on the radio? You just did.
I didn't say, I said
okay.
biatch.
Okay, all right.
It's different.
Actually, the word can be used.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So,
I need a list.
No, don't give her
No,
the list. No. Of all people, do not give her that list.
Nope, I know better.
Because she done made up her own list a couple of times.
Look at it. I'm back for just one day, and she's trying to throw me in the mix.
So here we go. Audubon Nature Institute Chief of Staff, Gilbert Montano, is out. He is out.
I never believed he was in. After screwing up the city of New Orleans' budget,
Yeah, but
how did he even get the job with the Audubon Institute?
he's one
I
of
just don't
he's one of
understand.
several Audubon employees out of a job as the organization looks to cut cost, officials said on Wednesday. So Montano, who was hired as Audubon at Audubon last year, after he resigned as former Mayor LaToya Cantrell's chief administrative officer, is one of the 23 employees the organization has terminated in a bid to save $1.5 million this year. A source familiar with the moves is telling the papers. The Institute, which oversees a collection of parks, museums, and environmental attractions throughout the New Orleans area, confirmed that he was one of those employees that were terminated. He gone. That's why I said this could be karma, because y'all remember how he left out of here. And guess what? We see what we found after he left.
I felt that they needed to call him back before the city council to explain why he presented a rosy picture of the city's budget right before he left. And now we know that the city is operating in a deficit. I think they should have called him before the city council to explain that.
They're not going to do that. Would you like to know why?
Tell me why they're not going to do that.
All of them have secrets. All of them have different funding things they wanted done, and he got it done for them. That's probably not going to look too favorable to the community. I'm not going to tell on myself. Keep that under wraps there, Montano. I need you to, forget that. I need you to fund this, though, but I need you not to tell nobody that you funded it. I'm like, oh, boy. Because I was the same way. Hey, y'all need to put and you have subpoena power. The city council has subpoena power. All you got to do is issue a subpoena and bring him back in front of the council. Put him in front of that dais, and let's sit down and have a conversation about why are we in $200 million of debt when you said
that things were great.
But that things were great. Now, if I had the choice, I would be saying malfeasance in office.
That doesn't apply to everyone, Gerard.
It applies if you are chief financial officer of this city and you are not you robbing Peter to pay Paul.
It seems to only apply to black politicians. Malfeasance.
Oh. He's not black.
No, he's not black.
Wait a minute.
He's Hispanic.
Oh. Right. Then it might apply to him too. Riva underlay.
It may not apply to him.
It may apply
you
to him too.
You are not going to get me to join you in that.
Come.
I'm just going to say.
Oh, come on, everybody.
No.
Join in on the conversation.
No, I'm not going to join you on that one. Listen,
senorita. Listen, Linda.
I will say that I just think that I think that he should have been held accountable for his forecasting of the city's budget, and he was not. I don't know why they allowed him to skate by with that, because we really are in a bad state of affairs, and I really do think he was very knowledgeable of the reasons that we ended up there.
So one of the things, too, that makes me go, something funny here. Let me say that again. Something funny here. Because it was very, very, very quick that you got the heck up out of here, and then very, very quick that we found out that we had problems with our budget. But let's date back a few minutes. Didn't I read that the U.S. attorney was going to indict some folks? One of them, of course, we knew was going to be the mayor.
Right.
But she also named some other folks. Montano.
Yeah, but he didn't get indicted. Just the mayor.
What had happened was, because they caught you with the tickets, because he had tickets to an
I
LSU
keep trying
game.
to explain to you
Go
the
ahead.
color of justice.
Mm-hmm.
The color of justice appears to be black. Okay? If you're black, we're going to indict you. If you're not black, we're not going to indict you. We're going to give you a pass.
But look what they're doing to the Mexicans and the people that, I'm sorry, the Hispanics. Are you Hispanic?
I'm going to change
I know.
this topic because you
No, can't change that yet. Don't change that yet.
Okay, all right.
You got to be with this one.
I'm not going to be with that one.
Listen, senorita.
I'm not going to be with you on that
I
one.
need you to listen to me,
I'd
senorita.
like to talk about something else.
No,
I think you're going to love
I
talking
need to
about.
say this so that everybody can understand me.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to change topic. So, Louisiana is last again.
Yep.
When do we stop accepting it?
Hey.
Once again, Louisiana has earned the distinction that no one should be celebrating.
Hey, why are we in that race?
According to the latest U.S. News and World Report Best States rankings, Louisiana ranks 50th in the nation, dead last for the fourth consecutive year.
Hey, what you expect?
The rankings measure 8 areas that directly affect people's lives: education, healthcare, the economy, infrastructure, opportunity, fiscal stability, crime and corrections, and the natural environment. So think about that. We are 50 out of 50.
At least we ranked.
50 out of 50. Not because of one bad year, not because of one hurricane, not because of one administration. We've been living near the bottom of these national rankings for years, and in this latest report, we're still there. Now, before someone says these rankings don't tell the whole story, they're right, they don't. You can't measure the soul of New Orleans based on this. But I do want to say, maybe Jeff Landry and maybe A.G. Merrill should be focused upon being 50th in the nation instead of minding New Orleans business.
Well, at least we ranked. How far can you go down?
To 50, which is where we're at.
No, you can't go any further. At least we ranked. We're there.
Jeff,
But
you
want us
got
to be
other
51?
fish to fry. Stay out of our business. Get the state together.
We got to take a break.
Mind Joe's.
We
Mind Joe's.
We got to take a break, y'all. More
Mind
coming up.
Joe's. Exactly.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
WBOK. Online at WBOK1230.com. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. More coming up in just a few minutes here about what's going on television tonight. But said you two have been holding on. What you say, man? Say it.
Hey, Gerod.
Oh, this ain't said. This is huh?
This other said.
Oh, this other said.
The original big said.
Okay, what's up, brother? How you doing?
You know what? How you doing, Miss Suzanne?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Great. You know what we in the top 5 running for?
What?
Accepting nuclear waste.
Huh. I agree with that.
You seriously want me to read it?
Oh, I'm sure you're right.
Yes. Along with Utah, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Idaho, to explore possible nuclear waste storage in these states. Memorandum of Agreement.
It doesn't surprise me. Look, we are number 50 for a reason. Our quality of life is plummeting. Our children are having to leave this state in search of quality of life. I have 2 that have left this state that they love, the city that they love, because they needed to move away from here to get opportunity. And Jeff Landry, I have a simple question. When are you going to attend to the office that you hold? When are you going to attend to being the governor and trying to pick us up from number 50? It seems lately you're spending as much time trying to be the mayor of New Orleans, the king of Greenland, and rather than being the governor of Louisiana. You're spending more time trying to tell a district attorney how to do his job. Juries, how they need to do their job. The special prosecutor, how she needs to do her job. The city council, how they need to do their job. But yet, here we are, 50th in the nation, dead last for the 4th consecutive year. I mean, why don't he do his job and stop trying to mind our business?
Dictator of the state. That's what he wants to be.
He wants to be the next presidential candidate. Why don't you fix Louisiana first?
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I'm going to have to follow one of my kids out of here eventually at my old age. I don't know.
So you don't think your child should be here? You want to leave?
No, I mean, we got too much invested in here, our whole family, We got too much invested right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I'm watching my kids thrive in Houston, okay? My middle daughter and my youngest daughter are now living in Houston. They're both living in gated communities that are planned communities that have water parks and splash parks and tennis courts and all this stuff connected to these neighborhoods that they live in, right? And that just comes as a part of the planned community. Okay?
Yeah.
We're here. Where do we have that here? I can't think of not one neighborhood in the entire New Orleans area that has a splash park, a playground, a walking trail, and all of those amenities, a community pool, tennis courts connected to it.
And they're closing the schools. They say they got to close the schools and, use them for police stations, training and all this kind of carrying on.
Yes, indeed.
It's ridiculous.
All right, so
ridiculous. Thank y'all, man. Keep up the great work.
Yep. All right. Now this the original said. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I give much respect to Big Said. This Shedrick Roy. I don't want him to get caught up for what I'm about to say.
All right.
I want to first and foremost, it's very sad. As someone who worked for a funeral home, you gave the utmost respect and reverence to not only the deceased bodies bodies, but they're family members. And it's only a matter of time before this person goes to jail because certain things should not have been done. And no, I'm not no embalmer or no funeral director, but you treated bodies with respect and reverence. And this is not done, and it's very sad to hear what you all talked about. I want to know, and I'm assuming, and you know what you do when you assume, with the president of the city council, J.P. Morrell, addressing the executive director of Sewerage and Water Board, the brother, I don't know his name, and pretty much he got offensive, I guess, with the gentleman, and he made a comment, and it's today's subcommittee meeting about the hour and 20-minute mark. Thank you, Sister Muhammad, for sending it to me. And his comment was pretty much the man telling the director not so prominent radio stations where they have made racial accusations against the city council. Mr. J.P. Morrell, this is Shedrick Roy. The stuff that you all do and allow to happen to black leaders, you have a different posture for non-blacks. And I hope the people don't forget that we're in this mess with the state that ranks first in everything bad and last in everything good because you and our current mayor invited the state into our day-to-day business when you all lured the legislative auditor Wagenspat going after Cantrell. So let's put that out there. And for this next city council meeting, if I can, I'm going to be there where I can tell it to you to your face. Lastly, to say that we have all these black men on the New Orleans City Council, y'all sad. And to this funeral home, by it being in the East, what is the position of the councilman of District E and the two at-large members who represent District E? I'll hang up and listen.
And Shed, the plot has thickened. While we're sitting here, WDSU at 4:37 p.m., Aubrey Killian, who was at my office this morning, has dropped a story saying that the investigation into Gary Lewis could expand to the federal level because it involves other states. District Attorney Williams spoke to Aubrey Killian, and this is what he said. I'm going to quote it. It's not clear whether it could stay at the state level or move to the federal level. It depends on how much commerce was involved and how active his involvement was. It could even stretch into another state. This failure on his part has created a burden for these other coroners' offices, and they are doing the best they can to help families who are suffering. I don't think anyone can imagine what it would be like. You are grieving. You lost someone close to you. You go through the process of saying goodbye, only to find out that things were not done properly. I don't want to speak to exactly what we know and what we don't know yet because it will take a certain amount of testing to do that. We're going to do our dead level best, what a word, to work with other agencies to get families those answers and then start talking about what accountability needs to look like. We're working with other agencies to gather all the evidence that exists and determine the scope of the entire case. It's too soon to name it. This is the tip of the spear. This is what the DA is saying, okay? I mean, the attorney for Robert Dagry, another victim, says what has happened to these families is absolutely horrific and came at a time when they are extremely vulnerable. We have filed a lawsuit on behalf of our client and feel that it is best not to comment beyond the allegations in the lawsuit at this time. This is what's going on, y'all. I mean, as we're sitting here, they're saying this man may have done this in other states.
He did. He did. I'll tell you in a minute. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight. News is next, and we'll take some more telephone calls.
campus of Xavier University. WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News. Now, the Maryland Department of Human Services says SNAP changes that took effect in November of 2025 have left nearly 36,000 residents without benefits. Governor Wes Moore says his administration is working to help Marylanders keep or get their benefits back. Flights were delayed in Las Vegas because of 114-degree heat over the weekend. Multiple flight crews asked for volunteers willing to be taken off flights in exchange for airline credits.
We got offered $2,500, to volunteer to deplane because of weight restrictions due to the weather.
Some planes would have had trouble taking off in the extreme heat unless they shed some weight. And Waymo is using some freeways again in Phoenix, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back to SSC.
That's our new name.
SSC, we'll tell you
We're
later.
the S-Storm crew.
We'll tell you later.
The S-Storm crew. That's what we are. I mean, literally, we just did these interviews this morning, and now we're getting reporting that this could be a federal case spanning other states where this man is doing the same thing.
Boy, as the New Orleans turns.
As New Orleans, and it seems to start here. It seems to start turning right here in this studio on Xavier's campus at WBOK.
So I do want to add something that I think that he really needs to watch his mouth, and that is the city council president that talked about this radio station. I think that's their new talking point. So it allows me to understand something. Me being in the media as many years as I have, it lets me know that if you're going to either put us on blast from the desk or any other media entity, and if you're talking about us like we saw that your little counterpart Barbie did as well, that might be y'all's talking points, but it lets me know that what's being said here and what is being discussed here is evidently being discussed by you all as well, that you have to answer for. Because evidently somebody is getting the information and bringing back to you and asking you questions, what I know that a lot of those folks don't like. My mama always told me, she said, if somebody's talking about you, that means you're doing something.
Look, it doesn't bother me at all that little Helena has her feelings hurt, that little JP don't like what we're saying. People will always have something to say when you are being successful and when you are calling them to task. Some will criticize, some doubt, some will watch from the sidelines and hope that you fail. But the nature of leadership is to stand up for what's right, to speak truth to power, even if the powers that be may not like what you have to say. We are serving the people of New Orleans who need a voice. We are fighting for families who deserve justice. We are standing up for your constituents who you don't even want to come to the radio station and talk to. We're standing up for people who are forgotten, overlooked, and underestimated. And we're investing in our community. We're creating opportunities. We are mentoring people. We're actually out here doing community service while you're sitting on your Instagram trying to pretend like you're Captain America. I'm not going to defend what we do here on this station. Our work speaks for itself because the other stations are listening and picking up on the stories that we are doing here. And the very fact that you get on your little bully platform and say that this station is, I don't know, second rate or whatever it is you want to call it, JP, just lets me know that you and all your little cronies are listening. Now, maybe you should listen closer because the things that we are saying on here, may keep you out of trouble one day. Okay?
And guess what? You already got somebody coming for you, which got a whole lot more power. Because I could tell you, when they started talking about taking your law license, don't think that ain't going to happen.
Look, y'all just keep on listening, baby, and keep on criticizing. Because over here, we're going to stay focused, we're going to stay humble, and we're going to keep serving. And we're going to keep doing these stories, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
And we're going to keep pointing out what we think y'all should be doing to truly serve the people of New Orleans.
The red bottoms. Galloway.
No, this ain't red bottoms, man. No. I like WBOK. WBOK talks to me, and I talk back to them.
What's going on
What's
with
going
you?
on with you, brother?
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, Miss Suzette?
I am doing well. I am blessed. And the fact that I am making some of these folks uncomfortable makes me even feel better today.
And my Martin voice, you go, girl. How about that? Make them feel bad. Now, I do got some good news. Louisiana does rank first in the United States for overall incarceration rates. We got, for every 100,000 people, we got 1,000 of them in prison. How about that? That's number one. But in a good category, though, we also rank first and second amongst reading growth and math growth. So the education system is starting to pick up, but the incarceration rate is the same, though. And I heard what Red Bottom said today, and I think that should be broadcasted all over WBOK. Bruh, you're scared to come on WBOK.
I find it so interesting that JP and Helena are taking shots at the only black radio station in New Orleans. They want to travel on over to WWL and talk to them and get softball questions. But they refuse to come to WBOK, and they are taking shots at WBOK. You want to know why? They see the movement that's starting over here. They see the impact that's starting over here. They listen because they know something meaningful is going to be spoken about over here. So we're going to keep them talking. While they're talking, we're going to keep serving. We're going to keep fighting for justice. We're going to keep building coalitions. We're going to keep educating our people. And y'all just stay where you're at. But I need you to stay over there when you run for re-election. And I need everybody to remind them how they tried to come negatively for the only black radio station in the city.
Go ahead, Galloway.
Well, you know, Helena Moreno would not even do the debate for WBOK. So I don't expect her. But see, JP, you try to play that you're a black person. I done told you before to your face, and I'll tell you again to your face. You're cosplaying as a black person. But now, when the state, Jeff Landry, comes for you, it's going to be no holds barred. You're not going to have that black community to fall back on. Fred Landry and Cedric Richmond is not going to be able to save you. You're going to need the grassroots black folks that listen to WBOK to stand for you. Because you think that the little white people from uptown and them other gentrification people going to be able to make some noise. They're going to turn on you just like anybody else that's a sellout black person gets turned out on. You might want to ask Candace Owens and some of these other folks that used to kiss up to conservatives all the time. What happens to you when they get tired of you? They kick you out. They're going to replace you. They'll find you another one. But hey, don't say I didn't tell nobody. And stop looking like Captain America on TV and when you are Captain Miss America. Galloway up out of here. Y'all have a good day. Hey, girl, hey.
All right, Galloway.
Why are we taking advice from somebody who thinks he's Captain Marvel anyway? I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, grow up. You know, it's very clear to me. Maybe they're not noticing, but Clandry and Liz Morrell are coming for y'all law license. All of y'all who hold a little law license on the city council, they're coming for you. DA, they're coming for you. And if you know anything about the Louisiana State Bar Association and the Office of Disciplinary Counsel, once that complaint is filed, oh my God, you got a hard time trying to overcome it. And every month, let me just say this: they issue an email to members of the Louisiana State Bar with all of the people who have been disciplined that month. And I read it to my staff every time I receive it with what people are being disciplined for. And there is a tremendous amount of black lawyers who are losing their license, being suspended, or their license being permanently taken from them every month. So I need you to just remember.
And they can't operate as an attorney.
No, they cannot. So I just need you to be mindful that this is no joke. These people are coming for you. You need to get ready. Because once you start going through that disciplinary process, it becomes very difficult to hold on to your license.
Because they're gonna now put you on the radar. You are now on the radar, so whatever you do from here on out, they looking at you. So
it's not a joke.
There's something else that happened today that I want to throw into this ring of black leadership, because one of the things that everybody's talking about was the way that the current director of the Sewage and Water Board was handled today. And we knew that Mr. Heyman was going to go through a whole bunch of bull crap through this current city council. And I don't think it's because of the way that he handles himself, because he seems to be very respectful. No one's questioning his knowledge, but you try to make the man look like he don't know nothing. But if you sit down and you really figure out and ask, hey, what would you like for me to, what would you like for this city to do to make it better? Because we're dealing with a sewage and water board that we've known for years has had 100-year problems. This ain't nothing new. It might be new since of the fact that certain areas of the city are flooding now, but Mr. Heyman didn't start that. That's been happening. We might be talking about the number of inches of water that are coming into the city, but Mr. Heyman didn't do that. We're talking about a system that's 100 years old that can only handle an inch of rain the first hour and a half inch every hour after that. But when you got these torrential rains that are coming now because of the heating of the planet, because we see these storms that are tropical now more than any other time, we're looking around and saying, well, what he's supposed to do? Is he supposed to stand out there with a bucket and say, bring it on, I'm going to throw this water out? But nobody's questioning on how we move water out of this city.
It is silly to question the head of the Sewage and Water Board or to criticize him for the problems that New Orleans is facing with respect to its infrastructure. Unless we receive a mass infusion of cash from the federal government to fix the infrastructure that makes up our sewage and water board system, I don't care who you bring in here. They're not going to be able to turn it around.
But one of the things, too, they said, I guess in the comments, that they said that some of the comments that are being made are racially inclined. And I have to tell you, just like you would know if you really paid attention to what we see, it seems that everything is racially inclined. Because it's my ability to know by talking to folks that you want to remove this man so you can put the former white guy back in place.
It's just another black man, in their opinion, making too much money and having too much power.
And he's very educated.
Being too educated.
Yep. Very educated. And has a proven resume that I don't think that anybody that you got over there right now can match.
let me say this. If your home had 100-year-old plumbing, would you expect it to work flawlessly every day? Of course not. Pipes erode, they crack, they break, water pressure changes, soil shifts, particularly in the South, particularly in New Orleans, which is under sea level, and infrastructure ages. That does not excuse poor management, but I don't think I'm seeing poor management. I think I'm seeing a leader who is dealing with one of the most complicated infrastructure systems in the country, dating back to the 1800s and early 1900s. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We are relying on pipes that were installed when Theodore Roosevelt was president, before airplanes became common, before television existed, before interstate highways existed, before anyone could have imagined the modern demands placed on this city. And so it's unrealistic, Captain America, to think it's just because of who the leader is at the Sewage and Water Board that he's the problem. The problem,
I'm
Captain America, I'm Wonder Woman. The problem is with the pipes and the infrastructure. I mean, you're being unrealistic. You're being naive. You're not thinking like a leader should think.
You're being a little bitch. That's just bitch. Just being a little bitch.
What you call him, Suzette? What'd you call him?
Captain America?
Dun, dun, dun.
Captain America.
Standing his fruit.
I mean, it's just so silly. Y'all, I look at Instagram at night and I'm scrolling. And when I see him with his little Captain America stuff, I mean, oh my God, it's just so silly. You think my feelings gonna be hurt because somebody, a grown man who thinks he's Captain America, has something to say about what I have to say? Boy, please. Boy, please.
Chuck. Okay, we missed him. All right, what you say, T-Bone?
Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Well, I'm glad that y'all are touching upon what this really is. This is really them trying to whitewash everything. I mean, when was the last time you had a black man that was actually running the Sewage and Water Board? And how many years have we had different people still saying the same thing? Oh, this pump broke, or this turbine broke, when we have a good flood. I mean, he's saying the same thing that all his predecessors have said. The only difference is there are certain areas he's trying to fix first. That's what this really is. Those heavy areas that still have the 100-year-old pipes, besides the French Quarter, are the ones that they don't like him going to fix. And this is also the French Quarter people that got upset because Sewage and Water Board was down there. So let me get this straight. You know you're working and owning property and running business in the historic French Quarter. The fact that it's a historic French Quarter should tell you right there, you're dealing with old stuff, old buildings, old architecture, old pipes. You need it fixed. Are you waiting on somebody to come to the French Quarter, get lead poisoning at a bad degree, to come sue you before you're going to sit up there and let these people fix it?
They don't pay their judgments no way. They don't pay their bills. They're a bunch of deadbeats on the city council and the mayor. They don't pay judgments. They ignore them.
But see, that's the thing. This has been happening for decades, Counselor. It's not something that just happened. You just all of a sudden decide, oh, well, this man's running it. I don't want him running it. I want this guy to run it. That Opie mess.
Look,
okay,
you can't tell me that Lil JP probably have his Captain American PJs on at night. You can't tell me that Lil JP is not jealous of Executive Director Randy Heyman's resume. Randy Heyman was the commissioner and CEO of the Philadelphia Water Department, one of the nation's largest municipal water utilities. He is the former general counsel.
Program and talked to us. Yep.
Right. He's the former general counsel of DC Water. He's the former general counsel of the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District. He is a partner at the environmental law firm of Beveridge and Diamond, which specialized in environmental and water law. He has a JD from Georgetown University Law Center. He has a political science degree from the University of Michigan. This man's credentials are heavy, and JP is swinging above his weight class. Okay?
But you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. You are working in a field that is predominantly white. I am working in a field that's predominantly white. You know what this is. This is a measuring. And they found out that they don't have it like we have it. And he got it, and he mad. So now he's trying to get the guy out. Please.
By all accounts, Randy Heyman has an outstanding resume. He's led major water systems. He has decades of experience in utilities and environmental law. JP, you don't. He has managed complex organizations with larger budgets and thousands of employees. So nobody can seriously argue that Randy Heyman lacks the credentials to lead the Sewerage and Water Board. But the reality check is that the people of New Orleans don't want an experienced resume. They want a scapegoat to blame for a 100-year-old infrastructure problem.
They want to do the good old boy system. Somebody that's going to cow down to what the old money wants them to do, which is zero, nada, goose egg, nothing, because they don't want to spend the money to fix it. They just want to get their money the way they have off the top, crooked, like they've done for decades.
Here's the truth. No executive director, no matter how accomplished, can replace a century-old water system overnight.
Exactly.
They're going to need an infusion of cash from the federal government.
What happened with that money that we had as far as infrastructure, which was over $2 to $3 billion of infrastructure? And don't forget, they ran those new pipes down St. Charles Avenue all the way down to Washington Avenue, and then Washington Avenue, and stopped at the end of Washington Avenue. And those areas where we put in new sewage and water board pipes, that area did not flood.
Well, that's a simple answer. Captain Trump got into office, and his little lieutenant don't want to take care of New Orleans. Why? Because New Orleans is one of them cities that did not vote for him or them.
Look, I want y'all to watch this too, because, you know, being the president of the New Orleans City Council is JP's side hustle. He really works as an attorney in private practice at what we call in practice a white shoe law firm, which means it's a predominantly white law firm. It's called Middleburg Riddle, the Middleburg Riddle Group, where his practice is supposed to include insurance, healthcare, regulatory compliance, environmental, land use, and zoning matters.
And see, this regulatory compliance thing, I think, is a problem because you are overseeing in your position the compliance of your regulatory commissions, regulatory everything, because we are the folks that run the Sewage and Water Board. We run Cox, or so you're talking about whoever runs the cable system, and you're also talking about who runs the Sewage and Water Board, cable, and of course Entergy.
How much leeway do you think that white shoe law firm is going to give him when Governor Clandry starts trying to come for his law license?
And that's the other part of it. See, it all comes down to how New Orleans has been doing business and how it continues to try to do business. I'm sorry, but until Mayor Moreno proves that they're not going to do business the same way, they're going to get the same criticism. I know you guys are trying to get her on this channel, but guess what? If I ask her the hard-hitting questions, you're a former journalist, you should expect it.
Oh, I'm not trying to get her on this station.
And I asked that question. If JP Morale shows up on this program and I ask the hard question, I expect you to answer them, sir, as a public servant. But if you can't, then you're playing the politics game. And nobody has been patient with this anymore. We're done with it.
All right, T-Bone. We got to get out.
All right, y'all.
All right, brother.
All right, y'all.
All right, more coming up, folks. Everybody hold tight.
It's off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
In nearly 50 years of covering Louisiana's justice system, I have never witnessed the indictment of a sitting state attorney general by an Orleans Parish grand jury or by a grand jury in any other Louisiana parish. That was big news. Then came even bigger news. All of the charges were dropped by the special prosecutor assigned to oversee the case. Former Judge Lori White, the special prosecutor, says she dropped the indictment against State Attorney General Liz Murrill because New Orleans Mayor Helena Moreno and other city officials urged her to do so to ease tensions between the city and state. The mayor offered a peace sign asking Governor Jeff Landry to meet so they could resolve their differences. Landry said no, not until the city gets things in order. Requesting that the AG charges be dropped was another peace sign. Landry still said no, thank you. Landry and Murrill have no interest in being friends with New Orleans leaders. I understand not wanting to be friends with people who you think want you to be put behind bars for 80 years. The circumstances and the players are different, but what we have here is the latest chapter in a long history of the bruising political wars between the state and the city. It's not good for the city or the state. Who knows how this latest drama will play out? What matters is whether this legal grudge match helps citizens who want leaders who will improve their quality of life. Now, this unfortunate drama is damaging our state, our city, our judiciary, and our chances for more economic development. It boils down to this. It's a cartoon with characters bashing each other, and it's not funny. We deserve better. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101, The Living Classroom, has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101, The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back. You're joined with Wonder Woman and Superman over here at WBOK.
We're going to wear our uniforms tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to be Wonder Woman and Superman.
That's Captain Chaos.
Oh, Captain Chaos.
Yep.
I like that.
I like that too. Thank you, bro. I might have to come up with a uniform for that for real.
I'm Captain Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Say hello to the policeman, Chaos.
Yeah, but was that really? That wasn't a real superhero, was it?
Dom DeLuise from Cannonball Run.
Oh, that's what it was.
That was his alter ego.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Let's take some more telephone calls. Chuck, you back?
Hello. How are you all doing this evening? Yeah, it's something. Rick just bringing up Cannonball Run. Yeah, Dom DeLuise, Burt Reynolds, and Sammy Davis Jr. was in it as well, and many others. Yeah, it's so we bring that up. But segue what I was on here to talk about. I heard you all talking about the ones down there in your city that don't want to talk to you all. We've seen that time and time again. See it in politics, sports, religion, anything that's going on, there are certain medias they do not want to talk to. And, now you're seeing, we talk about traditional media, a lot of these podcasters that are out here that are getting people's attention, and people are feeling a certain way about them, because one thing about it on these podcasts, they get very authentic. There are no filters there, and many of them are afraid to speak to people like that. And that's why in certain settings, like media credentials, there are those that get credentialed, and there are those that don't get credentialed because they saying some strong things there. And even that's why I look at the person that's sitting there in the Oval Office. There's certain people he doesn't want to talk to. Like say, they want those sugar-coated questions. They don't want to answer those hard questions.
Look, I hear you, and I'm sure that we're not the only radio talk show hosts that ask tough questions that politicians run from. Maybe we should change the tagline of the station to WBOK. It's what politicians are talking about, or WBOK is what politicians are running from. What should we call it? What should the new tagline be?
I saw some politicians that supposedly get ready to run for office, and I'm going to tear their ass up.
Can we say that word too?
I
need a list. I need a list of the words we can say.
We prefer you not to have.
I am not creating that monster.
Hey,
nobody wants to give me a list.
You do it on your become podcasters. You too, and a podcast you can go unfiltered on that one. I know this one you have to be careful what you do with the FCC, but yeah, hey, get the podcast thing. That'd be your backup there.
Oh, go on and run for office. Really I saw a couple of Facebook pages and stuff. People talking about they're gonna run for office. But they just don't know what's coming. They don't know what's coming.
Look, I think it's interesting that some of these politicians want to draw a line in the sand with WBOK. I find it interesting that this is what you want to talk about when you go on other stations or when you're on your little soapbox at night. That lets me know that we must be striking a nerve. We must be hitting you where it hurts, I guess. I don't know. But
yes.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thing, I take it as a compliment.
Yep. That's what's happening now. You all, there's a certain coach. He's from down in your city. He's coaching at a school right there in the area, right there in that place 40 miles from you. And that's what's happening with him. He has certain people. This is new. This will be his first season at the helm. And there's certain media people he doesn't want to talk to. I found that out about it. They're trying to get him on to talk to him, and he doesn't want to fool with him. I said, well, you don't want to be bothered with it. I say, you better do something this season, or they're gonna be calling for your head. And those same people that you're brushing off, they're gonna be coming for you. You might as well get ready. And I just I look at you all, WBOK. One thing about you all show authenticity down there.
We try to. I think that's very important. I think that integrity and authenticity are very important. And
yes,
I think that your word needs to be your bond, and I think you do have to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. And I don't think that we just get on here to do theater. This is not an entertainment show. This is more of a news show. And I find it interesting that the way you want to talk to the public is not by coming to the media and answering tough questions. The way you want to talk to the public, both our mayor and JP Morrell, is to get on your Instagram and talk like you're a tween with nobody asking you tough questions.
Nope. All right, Chuck.
Yeah.
We got to take some other calls, brother. Appreciate you much.
All right. You all take care.
All right. Just said bye. Pop Joe's.
Hey, G-Man and Tony McNaris.
What's going on?
Look,
how you doing?
I got a good thing, man. Look, I'm waiting. I'm counting my pennies.
You what?
I'm counting my pennies.
You counting your pennies?
Yeah, I want to put my $45. Yeah, I want to put my $45 towards Attorney Bagdaris Attorney Flecknaris
To do what?
running for mayor.
Oh, you wanted to
For
run?
mayor.
I'm too real to run for mayor of the city of New
Oh,
Orleans.
wait, let me finish. With G Man and Noonan Man and others, with G Man, Noonan Man and others, only one gonna clean up the mess in this city and this state. Now, you might think this might sound like a joke or something, but I believe that y'all have the answer to this foolishness.
Nah, I think you're trying to get us
Let
killed.
me tell you something. I do appreciate what you're saying, Pop. I take it as the ultimate compliment. But every time there's a mayoral election, people ask me, are you going to run for mayor of New Orleans? Every time, Gerard can tell you. And my answer is simple. I'm too real to run for mayor. I say what I believe. I call balls and strikes the same way, no matter who's in office and no matter who likes it. I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell them what I think they need to hear. I don't believe in protecting politicians. I believe in protecting the people. And I'd rather tell you the truth than to tell you an uncomfortable lie that makes me look good. The reality is that leadership isn't about popularity. It should be about making tough decisions, being accountable, and having the courage to admit when you've got it wrong. But too many people in politics spend their time showing up for photo ops instead of rolling up their sleeves to really do the work. They'd rather manage headlines than manage situations. And that's why I enjoy having this opportunity to talk to y'all on the reality check, because it gives me the freedom to ask hard questions, to challenge those in power, and to speak to people about worrying about the next election.
Well, let me say this. Can I say this?
Go ahead. And stop listening to yourself on the replay.
I understand that you got a beautiful family and friends and everything. Would you figure that
Come on, Pop, what you got? Come on, because you're listening to two things at one time. Talk to us.
Do you think that you would lose too much?
No, because luckily, Pop, I have worked hard and I'm blessed to the point where I work for myself and I work because I want to work at this point, not because I need to work at this point. And, I think that makes me seem dangerous to a lot of people in the powers that be, because they know that I am at this point independently wealthy and comfortable.
Right.
And therefore, I'm not really beholding to any of them to make me or break me at this point.
Right.
I'm blessed to be in that position, which affords me an opportunity to speak truth to power without fear of ramifications. Other people might want to say the things. Yeah, other people might want to say the things that I say. I have a lot of judges who tell me all the time, I wish I could say what you say. They would love to be able to have the freedom to say what I say.
Right.
But the reality is most people are still dependent upon a paycheck from someone else, or are they too fearful of what other people are going to think of them, okay, to take hard stance like that.
Attorney Bernard, can I say this? That's the reason why let me say this. That's the reason why we got people like Donald Trump in there, because people are afraid to speak truth to power like you doing. Or I would say in the state.
I got to tell you, it's a blessed position to be in. And I think that to whom much is given, much is required, right? So I've been,
that's right.
Right. I've been blessed to get to this point in my life to where I can speak truth without worrying about ramifications.
Right.
And I think that's another reason why people are scared of Ben Crump. You know, Ben Crump is in a similar position. As a matter of fact, Ben Crump got more dollars than I got. Ben Crump, okay, is a person who is practicing law just because he wants to at this point, not because he has to. Ben Crump is really doing this now because he wants to be able to help people around the country. And he's not afraid of the white man, what the white man got to say. He's not afraid of what the powers that be have to say because he is making his own money. He's made his own way. So, you know, I think that people like Ben Crump, and I'm not trying to compare myself to Ben Crump, y'all. I'm just going to say that. But people like Ben Crump, lawyers who get to that standard. I once knew Johnny Cochran. I feel the same way about Johnny Cochran. You know, I consider him a mentor. I feel the same way about Billy Murphy in Baltimore, a good friend of mine, my mentor. These are black lawyers who have already earned more money than they can spend in a lifetime and who are able to take difficult positions and really stand up for the community when the community needs them because they're not beholden to what other people think of them anymore.
All right.
Well, can I ask this question, though?
Go ahead.
Is that the only few guys in the country, black men, that's in that position to do what you just say?
Well, you know, I belong to the National Bar Association, which is the Black Lawyers National Association. And there are many black lawyers throughout the country. When I say many, I mean there might be like 50, 60 of us around the country who are at that point and who are doing that kind of. James Carter, another local boy, right? 35 grown.
Yeah.
James Carter is
independently
wealthy and has taken on the position of being the president of the National Bar Association. And he is going around the country, volunteering his time, taking on legal issues that matter to the black community. You know, there are lawyers like James. I'm not the only one, right? And Carlos Moore in Mississippi. He's a person who worked for the Cochran firm. He, too, has made a lot of money in the profession. And he is now running for political office in Georgia. I mean, I would rank Carlos Moore among that number of people. But, you know, it's a blessing. But I think that blessing comes with responsibility. So I thank BOK for giving me an opportunity to do what I do. You know, and we take on cases at the firm that most lawyers wouldn't take on because they may not make a dime on them, but they're the right thing to do.
And they wear you out because I'm worn out.
You're worn out from this morning, so am I. But you know, it's important to take cases that have real impact. But some people won't take cases with real impact because they may not make real dollars from them.
All right, Pop, we got to take a break. Pop? Okay, must be gone. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more in just a minute, y'all. Everybody will take.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Dr. Anthony Fauci refused to answer lawmakers' questions this morning, invoking his Fifth Amendment right during a high-stakes Senate hearing into the origins of COVID-19. The former top infectious disease official appeared before the Senate Homeland Security Committee chaired by Kentucky Republican Rand Paul, a longtime Fauci critic who has publicly called for him to end up, quote, behind bars. The hearing follows Paul's release of more than 1,000 pages of Fauci's private pandemic-era diaries, which which Paul says expose contradictions between what Fauci wrote privately and told the public. Fauci's legal team says he's invoking the Fifth to avoid a possible perjury charge, noting his 2025 pardon from President Biden would not protect him from anything. In his opening statement, Fauci accused Paul of an unhinged obsession with prosecuting him. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
I just want you to know that I'm Wendell Pierce.
And you're
not.
And you're not.
One day he's going to really get on us for doing that.
Yeah, I do.
No, Wendell cracked up the
Wendell
first
Pierce.
time he heard
You're
that.
not.
And you're not. Mm-hmm. What's going on, good people? You just turned it in. You done missed a heated show today. Whoa, baby. Make sure that you go back through Facebook and get a chance to look and hear the repeat on Facebook, because it will be there this evening.
And share the show, y'all. We appreciate it when you share the show. We appreciate it when you follow us on YouTube, Facebook, all of that.
Can I finish?
Yeah, go right.
You got energy today. I don't have none, zero, zilch. No, but all the different formats that we have, not only Facebook. We want to thank everybody for listening to us at 12:30 a.m. You can also hear us on 107.1 FM. You can also go on WBOK1230am.com and hear us. You can go to YouTube, and you can also hear us there and see us there. So all the different formats. Yes, sir?
And you can hear the rebroadcast at 2 a.m.
What?
Mm-hmm. 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Play it overnight.
So when you rubbing your feet together?
When I'm rubbing my feet together, I can listen to it.
That's what you do at 2 o'clock in the morning, rubbing our feet together. Mm-hmm. You can always check it out. But, you know, it's there to play on Facebook, 2 minutes after we finish?
And as you can see, it is important to support black media because, boy, they taking shots at us, huh?
That's good.
I need a bulletproof vest
soon. You ain't got one yet.
When we walking, I got used to walking out here.
Your Superwoman outfit. What you said?
Dun, dun. I got used to walking out of here without having to look around.
Right, because you weren't doing the producing of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ran from us too. Oh, yeah, WBOK is what Wick is running from
doing
too.
What I'm supposed to be doing, producing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm filling in for Naren today.
I got you. We appreciate you being here today. We really do.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
But we are.
I think I'm going to start going on my Instagram wearing a Wonder Woman shirt, talking about the things that are happening in New Orleans.
Wonder Woman.
I'm turning my mic off now.
Why you don't want to talk to Wonder Woman?
Oh, I'm scared of her.
Yeah, but you got to think about something.
She might put the
What
lasso
grown
around me.
person do you know that holds a city seat in a prominent position, and your claim to fame is more so Marvel than it is in what you're doing in the city? Marvel, because you also have what's his name's shield. You got Thor's big old hammer. And I'm sitting back and saying to myself, what is this dude? A Marvel comic?
Is that where our tax dollars are going?
Huh?
Is that where our tax dollars are going?
Something. So, but who's going to take the position that you were a part of the worst debacle financially of this city ever, and you were part of it? None of them have taken responsibility and say, I was in office, I should have done. But yet, you want to now put in the state's auditor. And I can tell you that Oliver Thomas told you, don't put the state in our business. And what you go do? And now they looking to take your law license.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Captain America, or wherever he wants to be, wouldn't even be in office but for his mommy and daddy being in office. He rode the wave. He had not done anything independently to build a resume other than be the child.
He was a state legislator.
He got there because of mommy and daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to mommy and daddy helping him to get elected, he had not built a resume of any kind.
Suzette, I really don't want to have to be ducking hammers and shields when I leave this place.
Hammers and shields.
Hammers and shields.
Captain.
He gonna be shooting darts at me, Rick.
I'm
just telling it like it is. I mean, I didn't have a mommy and daddy in public office that could catapult me into a cushy position. You know, I had to work for mine. My parents were educators. I had to go to law school and hit the ground running and work long, hard hours, taking tough cases, building my reputation to be where I am today. I didn't have that privilege, but you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna call it like it is.
But this is his final run, and hopefully you'll be able to finish your final run. But it looks like these folks are coming for you. And if they come for you, my question would be, who do you think is going to support you to get the governor of this state and the attorney general of this state off your yin-yang? Because I don't know if you got a chance to see some of these press conferences, but I can tell you the faces that I see that Liz Merrill is making, and also Governor Landry, they are angry at you. They're angry at you. You messed up and turned over the apple cart. So you can be mad at the radio station. We'll be broadcasting when they take your law license. How about that? Okay, I finished. So let's conclude with today.
How are we going to wrap this up?
I don't know.
I don't even know how to wrap this up other than to say I had a body on my conference room table.
Where we eat. Look at your face. It was ashes, bro. It was just fat. We eat lunch together. And when we eat lunch together, we're eating in the conference room.
Because we're working while we're eating, because we work hard.
Yes. So they came in today with the ashes, and they didn't spread them, but they took the bag out and set it down on the table.
You think you got ghosts now?
Huh?
You think you have ghosts in that building now?
And Stacy swears the office is haunted before today. You should have seen Stacy's face. I gotta call Stacy out. So when them people took that plastic bag out of that box in that office, Stacy's eyes got big as saucers.
I would have got up and left.
She did. She got up. She did get up. Went in the hallway. And
So
she just looked at me and said,
when we first moved into this office, which used to be Tammy's bar, we would come into the office in the morning and the Alexa would be playing barroom music when we first moved into the office.
Now it's playing Cardi B.
Oh, Lord. Please don't get her started. You know what?
All right.
Stacey may not come tomorrow.
You got to get out.
You know what that means?
You got to get up. You got to go.
Time to go.
Time to go.
All right, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll either be dressed as Wonder Woman or Catwoman. I haven't decided which. I'll figure that out tonight.
Friday on the reality check, coming in to have some conversation with us. We are definitely getting ready to make some moves with the New Orleans branch of the NAACP. We are having meetings every Monday and getting ready to put together our big breakfast on August the 29th. You need a ticket. Make sure that you get it. I'm getting ready to post it. But the board members are going to be here on Friday afternoon to have that conversation about what we're getting ready to move on. Other than that, y'all, I'm going home to rub my feet together because I'm tired. See y'all tomorrow.